Hey guys, how's it going? Great to see you dropping by and watching the content again. Really appreciate it. New to the channel, thank you very much for dropping by. Regulars, thank you for checking in every single day as I drop this daily content about sneakers. Now, usually what I do is I do a review or a preview of a sneaker that's coming in about a week or 2 weeks time, and I talk about something that's an upcoming sneaker. Yesterday, I've already forgotten what it was. I do so many of these every single day, dropping videos about sneakers and upcoming sneaker releases, but this one's a little bit different. It is an upcoming sneaker release, but it's far in the future. It's not a couple of weeks or a couple of days in the future, which, like I said, is what I usually do. Yesterday it was actually the Kevin Durant 13 Breads, now that I remember, which is dropping on the 1st of June in about 5 days time. So that's a great example of the kind of videos I usually do, but this one's a little bit different. But I can't do it because my little girl's just woken up, so I'm going to go away and take care of her, and I'll be back in a minute. I'm back. Hopefully, fingers crossed, she won't wake up again. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, so shooting this video for today drops at 7 o'clock today. So yeah, that sometimes happens. I talk about my videos that I don't cut that kind of stuff out. I think it's important to leave the real life stuff in there, and I should warn you, it might happen again. But if it does, shogunai, these things happen. Shogunai is the Japanese word for, this is life, that's what happens. So what I was saying was that usually what I do is I do videos about upcoming sneaker releases. This is an upcoming sneaker release, but it's kind of far in the future. It's not a few days or a couple of weeks away. It's quite far in the future. But as soon as I saw this shoe, I knew that I had to make a video about this. And it's kind of my first video about Kobe Bryant since he passed away. And there's a lot about that in my channel and reasons why I chose not to make videos about Kobe Bryant and about his shoes. But now this shoe is coming out, I really want to talk about that. I talk about what Nike are doing with the Kobe line, talk about this shoe in particular, look at some of the details on it, and kind of actually, in a way, give some props to Nike for the way they're handling the situation. So without further ado, let's get into this video today, which is the upcoming release in distance of the Nike Kobe 5 Protro Bruce Lee. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel, Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel des. Mainichi upstairs on them, Mainichi Miki Kudasai, and every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews, and occasionally I throw in a little video like this one. And I have to apologize off the bat because I've lived in Japan for 21 years now, which is an awful long time, almost half my life. And K-O-B-E here is Kobe, whereas of course Kobe's name is pronounced Kobe. And I mix that up a lot, so if I do slip that in by accident, I apologize in advance for that. It's not deliberate, it's just an accent, although I do think he is named after the place in Japan, but I might have that wrong. So but anyway, into this shoe and talking about what's going on, I want to take this in two parts. I want first to talk about what Nike have done in terms of handling the whole situation around Kobe Bryant passing away, and then look in detail specifically at this upcoming Bruce Lee shoe. And as I say in my videos, I usually, when I make a statement in the title, when it's not just the name of the shoe, I try to answer the question or explain that statement early in the video rather than wait till the very end. So so the statement in this video is congratulations, or why I think Nike have done a good job, or why I need to give them props or whatever. And the reason is I think Nike and the sneaker world in general did a really good job of not price gouging or manipulating or taking advantage of the tragedy that was the death of many people, not just Kobe Bryant and his daughter, but also other people in that helicopter crash a few months ago. And at the time, I mentioned in one video how much I hate clickbait and how much I don't appreciate people just churning out content because they want to get the views or get the watch time and things like that. And when Kobe Bryant passed away, I totally avoided that because I really want to resist that. But this shoe, I saw it today on the internet for the first time, and by that I mean this upcoming release, because it is actually an OG from many years ago, and then they're re-releasing it, so it's a retro more than anything else. But I saw that they were retro and it was in on the internet, and I was like, yeah, that's the one. I'm going to talk about that because it's an upcoming release. And I do want to say about with the Nike and the sneaker culture in general, sites like StockX and places like that, they put a cap on Kobe Bryant I don't know what we would say, not memorabilia, but Kobe Bryant apparel and clothes and sneakers and things like that, so that people wouldn't just throw the price up really high and make a fast buck off of somebody's death. And I really appreciate that. I thought that was a moral thing to do. And I've been watching Nike and specifically the Kobe line over the last few months, waiting for what they're going to do. And one of the things they did, and I think they didn't have to do this, but one of the things they did was they didn't release a bunch of sneakers that were due to drop. And they said, you know what, no, we're not actually going to drop those. And I think they could legitimately have dropped them because they were already planned. It wasn't like they were going out of their way to make a fast buck or anything like that. And then they're coming out with this particular shoe has been, to my mind, the first Kobe Bryant shoe to come out since he passed away. And it's a cracking shoe. It's a really beautiful shoe. And I like I say, I want to give props, or I want to give compliments to Nike for that. I'm often really hard on the brands on my channel. I often talk about how I think they're just in it for the money, or they're churning out sneaker after sneaker to grab money and get us to spend our money. And when they don't do that, and the time I usually talk about that is when they take the time to really carefully design a shoe, even if it costs more to make the shoe. But in the case of these guys and the whole sort of Kobe line, they could have really gone hard and fast, you know, when there was a lot of interest in Kobe after he passed away, as naturally happens when somebody famous passes away. But they didn't do that. Now, of course, in the long run, they know that they will make their money. You know what I mean? Nike are not a charity. They do need to make money, and they are a business. So I know that they're not like just being completely altruistic and saying, you know, we're not going to make any money at all. But I just appreciate the way that they've handled it. And I think they've done it in a really, really good way. And so it's a chance for me for once to actually compliment the brands instead of going hard at them and hitting them hard. So I say yes for the way they've handled that. And, you know, they will make their bucks in the long term, but I think they've done a good job. And I think part of that is that they, at Nike, is Nike, I think they understand that Kobe Bryant is like already guaranteed that legendary status, so they don't have to build the legend. They don't have to, you know, go out of their way to manipulate, you know, the hype and all the stuff that goes around sales and promotional materials and stuff like that. They don't really need to sell it because he's already a legend, a legitimate legend. They don't need to create the legend. And I think they appreciate that, and they know in the long run what's going to happen to Kobe Bryant and his line of clothes and shoes and things like that is that they're going to elevate themselves to a next level without Nike having to do anything. And I think that's, you know, a smart move business-wise, but I also think it's a smart move morally that they're not just, like I say, making a fast buck off of somebody's name. And then we come to the shoe today that we're going to talk about, because it is, to my mind, the first Kobe Bryant shoe to have dropped since he passed away. I might be wrong in that, and if I am, I always appreciate people telling me in the comments down below, because if I'm not an all-seeing eye, I'm not an authority on everything, and sometimes I get things wrong, and I like it when people call me out on that, because I actually appreciate learning and people telling me I've got something wrong. So if there have been other sneakers that I've missed, but given I do this every single day, it's unlikely that I have missed a sneaker from the Kobe line. But to my mind, this is the first one that's coming out, and there's actually two of them, and it's important there are two for this video today. We've got the Kill Bill. See, I need to talk about that in a minute. The Bruce Lee's here in that yellow and black sort of colorway. There's a couple more colors in there as well, but it's predominantly yellow and black because of that tracksuit. And I always sort of slip in that Kill Bill there because the Kill Bill itself was an homage to Bruce Lee. You know, it wasn't like it was trying to cheat Bruce Lee out of his legacy. It was like Quentin Tarantino paying respect to Bruce Lee, and that's why the main character, I think it's Beatrice, her name is, in Kill Bill, wears the tracksuit. Looks very similar to that classic Bruce Lee tracksuit, and that's where this colorway gets its sort of, you know, base from. But there's also another one out there, and it's a white one. It's called the Alternate, the Bruce Lee Alternates, and they're white. And there's actually a detail on these that's easier to see, so I'm glad we've got these to look at. But before we get into that, back to the yellow and black ones, and we'll look at that whole sneaker. What a great looking sneaker. It's very sleek. I've been critical in the past of Protro 4s because I think I don't really like the way that the shoe flows from front to back, especially when you have two different sort of kinds of materials at the midfoot and the front. So you go with this sort of dull matte material, and then that goes into a glossy shiny material, and that happens a lot on Protro 4s, and I don't really like it. But this Protro 5 in particular has a really clean sort of flow front to back. And if we zoom in, there's a really nice, neat sort of place to look at on the mid-foot section, right around that swoosh area. You can see that it's yellow, but actually if you get really close to it, it's got a real feel of Chinese about it, a sort of bamboo grove kind of feel with those vertical lines that run not in parallel, like in irregular sort of vertical lines throughout that midfoot sort of section there. And that's a really cool feature on that. And it's the kind of feature that I didn't like about the Protro 4s, that they'd have that, and then right alongside that they'd have like something sort of fabricy and dull, as opposed to that, you know, shiny and glossy feel to it. So that's one really nice little feature. It's not too hard to go from there down towards the front of the sneaker to one of the classic features on the original OGs and on this, and that's that 4 sort of scratch lines down there, very sort of subtle, very discreet, in red, so it's that point of colour that isn't yellow and black. Like I said earlier, these are a yellow and black sneaker with a couple of little hints of colour in there, and those 4 scratch lines down around about the quarter line, very low on the foot, very discreet but very cool, to give you that little extra bit of hint of colour, but also of design on these guys. And then if we go up higher, I want to have a quick look at the tongues, just because they give you another point in colour, especially with that silver sort of branding on there. But then from the tongues, it's not far to go inside, and this is where I have a question for you guys out there, is I'm not sure, in fact I don't know, it's not even I'm not sure, it's I don't know what these little diagrams and designs represent on the insole there, and they're kind of dotted. At first I thought they were not a barcode, but what are those square codes, like a Q code? I thought it was a Q code or something, but I was like, nah, that's not a Q code, they're too irregular for that, and I don't know what they represent. And this is where we can go back to the white one. So if we go back to the alternate Bruce Lees and come down towards, I think it's just below where those 4 slashes are, you can see that there's a little imprint on the midsole, which represents exactly what's going on that insole there, on the mid. What did I say? Did I say midsole? I did say midsole. And that branding, it's not branding, that design, that detail on there, again, I still don't know what it represents. So if you do know, please let me know in the comments down below. Another thing I want to have a look at, and I think again this is more easily seen on the alternatives, is we have a look at the toe roll, where the outsole kind of comes up onto the front of the sneaker, and I think I'm right in saying that it's got a KB on one and his number on the other one. I think it is. It's definitely different. I can't remember what's on the left shoe. The right shoe I think is KB for Kobe Bryant, and then the right shoe I think is his number. And I like that. I appreciate that they're different on there. I think it's cool when a shoe, you know, a company does that and has a difference on the left and the right foot. But that's more easily seen on the white guys. But if we come back to the yellow and the black guys, there's one last thing that I want to do, is go around to the back of them and look at the heel. I don't know, this might be wrong, but from what I've looked at, it does look like there's a different material on the heel cup. And I don't know if I'll be able to show it to you on the green screen, but what I've seen is that this upcoming release has a sort of dull matte finish to it, but the previous OG release had a bit more shine and gloss about it. So that might be the one place that's a little bit different on these new latest 2020 versions, and compared to that OG version back there. So that's all the detailing on these guys. There's one small thing that's maybe worth mentioning, is that the medial side has some vertical sort of what would we call them, ventilation holes on them that you don't see on the lateral side, and hopefully I'll be able to show you like the lateral side and then the medial side, and you'll see those vertical ventilation holes on there. But then back out as the whole shoe, you know, a great looking shoe, a great looking story, you know, the OG Bruce Lee's, and then bringing that classic colorway back again. And also I think, like I say, Nike have done a good job of handling, you know, bringing the Kobe line back into sales and back into business at the right time and in the right way. So I usually bash the brands a little bit. Today I'm happy to give, you know, a thumbs up, a thank you, a well done, props, whatever you want to go out, throw some light on the Nike brand. I think they've done a good job. For now though, time for me to chip off. The little one hasn't woken up again, which is good news for me, but it's time to, you know, shoot off. I've got to get this video up in what, 18 hours time, and so it's hard work to try and get all that done. The lockdown is sort of starting to finish here, so so without further ado, I'm going to do what I do at the end of every single video, which is say the same thing, but I'm going to try and do it in a different way, which I've been trying to do recently. So what I'll do is I'll do it like this, which is to say thank you for checking out my content, but as I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.